The rugby world has fallen quiet with the passing of Grant Batty, a name that still echoes through New Zealand rugby like a heartbeat. At 74, he has left us in Queensland, far from the packed terraces and muddy pitches where he once set crowds alight. Yet distance cannot dull what he meant to the game, to Wellington, and to the black jersey he wore with fearless pride. Grant Batty was not just a rugby player, he was a moment of electricity every time he touched the ball. In an era defined by brute strength and towering forwards, he rewrote the script with speed, courage, and an unbreakable will. When he ran, people leaned forward. When he stepped, defenders hesitated. When he scored, history took notes. His journey began in Wellington in 1970, where his raw talent quickly became impossible to ignore. The provincial jersey seemed to fit him naturally, as if it had been waiting for him all along. It was only a matter of time before selectors noticed that this young winger carried something rare, an instinct that could not be coached. 2 years later, on foreign soil in Cardiff against Wales, Batty stepped onto the test stage. Wearing the silver fern, he did not play like a newcomer. He played like someone who belonged. From that point on, every appearance felt like a promise fulfilled, not just for him, but for the supporters who saw their hopes mirrored in his fearless runs. Tries flowed from his boots and his belief. 45 test tries came not from size or power, but from timing, vision, and an almost defiant refusal to be caught. One moment in particular has lived on in rugby folklore, the interception against the British and Irish Lions. With a knee already betraying him, he still found the strength to sprint clear, pain chasing him every step of the way, glory waiting at the end. That moment captured Grant Batty perfectly. Hurt, underestimated, and unstoppable. It was never just about scoring, it was about daring to try when the body said no. It was about heart overruling limits. Even today, that run is spoken about with disbelief and admiration, a reminder of what courage looks like in motion. Other tries followed, each adding another layer to his legend. Against the Barbarians, against New South Wales, in matches where flair met fire, Batty delivered memories that fans carried home with them. He gave people stories to tell, moments to relive, reasons to love the game a little more. Cruelly, his playing career ended at just 25. A knee injury closed the door far too early, leaving many to wonder what more he might have achieved. But even in departure, his impact did not fade. Some careers are long, others are eternal. Grant Batty's belonged to the latter. The shock of his passing has rippled through those who knew him best. Former teammates have spoken not only of his brilliance, but of his warmth, his humor, and the bond forged through shared battles. Ian Kirkpatrick's words reflected a loss deeper than sport, a friend gone, a chapter closed. Wellington Rugby, too, mourns one of its own. Leaders have spoken of pride, of sadness, and of gratitude for what Batty gave to the jersey and the community. He represented more than a team, he represented belief, that greatness can come in any shape, and that courage can outrun doubt. Recognition followed him long after his final whistle. When named among the greatest All Blacks by Win Gray, it felt less like an honor bestowed and more like a truth finally written down. A feisty dynamo was an apt description, but it still barely captured the fire he brought every time he played. Beyond rugby, his competitive spirit refused to rest. Winning the NZ Superstars Series 3 years in a row showed that his drive was not confined to one field. Later, as a coach in Queensland, he continued to shape the game, passing on lessons forged through pain, triumph, and resilience. Grant Batty will be remembered not for how long he played, but for how deeply he played. He showed that courage can outweigh size, that speed can humble strength, and that heart can define legacy. Long after the cheers fade, his runs still live on, in memory, in story, and in the soul of New Zealand rugby.